When we stood in 2019, we promised to get Brexit done, and we did that. We got Brexit done and we restored our sovereignty as a nation, a great and lasting achievement. But we also promised that we would secure our borders, that we would ensure a strong economy and lower taxes, and a strong NHS and public services, which the public rightly expect. And on those counts, we did not deliver the services, the lower taxes, the level of economic growth, and the migration system that we promised and which the public rightly expect. The baton for those things now passes to this Labour government. And where it succeeds, I will welcome and support it. Where it falls short, I will challenge it. Because we want to ensure that those great issues facing our country are properly addressed. We live in one of the greatest times to be alive, but it is a time of immense change, when there is a shift in power from west to east, when new technology like AI is upending old industries, where there is an age of mass migration, which is challenging the pace of change in our country, creating huge pressures on housing and public services, on integration, making it harder to build the united country that we all want to see. And I worry that what we saw today in this King's speech does fall short of some of those great challenges. There are undoubtedly bills which I welcome. For example, the bill on the Holocaust Memorial, a project that I have been involved in for many years, and I'm delighted this new government will take forwards. Some are radical, like the changes in our energy policy, and I worry that they are radical for all the wrong reasons. Despite having decarbonised faster than other countries, despite only being responsible for 1% of global emissions, we now find ourselves with a government pursuing, for ideological reasons, a net zero policy which is going to make it harder for our own consumers to afford their bills, which is going to further erode our industrial base, which is going to lead us in hock to Chinese technology, where we're trading dependence on Russian hydrocarbons for Chinese electric vehicles, smart meters and solar panels that will despoil our countryside, where new quangos will spring up, like Great British Energy, which serve no apparent purpose and take inspiration from their predecessors like Robin Hood Energy in my part of the world in Nottingham, a failed project that wasted £50 million of taxpayers' money. And already in the first few days of this government, I worry that 200,000 jobs in the oil and gas sector have been put in danger, just at the time when rightly the government is saying that we want to fuel our economy, to create jobs, and to change the dynamics that we've seen as a country since the financial crash in 2008. 20 or 30 years of low productivity growth and unsatisfactory economic growth. We should all be working to find ways to do that and to make that possible. I worry about the message on the economy that we're hearing. We want economic growth, but economic growth is founded on harnessing the entrepreneurship of our people. It is about creating a start-up country. It is about helping small business people to found businesses around their kitchen tables, like my parents did. It is not a statist vision of this country. It is not about using new quangos or a national wealth fund, which is an oxymoron because it's going to borrow the money it seeks to invest. It's not about changing our employment laws, which make us less competitive and will drive the kind of higher structural levels of unemployment that we see in Europe and which we mercifully have avoided over the last 10 years. And I worry about immigration because we do live in an age of mass migration. And I have been honest, painfully honest, about the failings of the last government on this topic. But I worry that the same or worse mistakes are about to be made again. What we're seeing in the Channel is a national security emergency. We're seeing tens of thousands of people about whom we know next to nothing crossing into our country, breaking into our country in flagrant abuse of our laws. Some of them are subjects of interest being followed by our security services. This has got to stop. And scrapping the only known credible deterrent with nothing else to put in its place is going to surrender to the people smuggling gangs. That's wrong, it's a mistake, and I worry that we are going to rue the day that we did that. I also hope that the government will take seriously legal migration, because we have to accept that the public in this country in most parts of our country, have been voting for 20 or 30 years for governments and in referendums promising to control and to reduce the level of legal migration, only for governments of all political colours to do precisely the opposite. And that is immensely corrosive to public trust and confidence in politics and in democracy. And as one of our colleagues said earlier about the rise of far-right parties around the world, if we centrist parties on the left and the right do nothing about this, if we do nothing about this, then you will see the rise of far-right parties in this country. And I think that would be a great mistake. So I hope that the reforms that I started to reduce the number of people coming into this country legally are taken forward and that we further reduce them. Because we could have used this King's speech today to implement a legal cap on net migration, embedded by Parliament in law. We haven't done that. And that will mean further pressure on housing, on public services, and on the pace of change. Let me close with this. The Prime Minister has said that he wants this to be a new era in which politics is defined by service. And I think we will all agree on that point. It should be. But the question is, who do we serve? I don't think that we come to this place to serve the interests of new quangos and commissions and reviews. I don't think we're sent here to serve the interests of the legal fraternity and contested notions of international law. I don't think we're sent here to serve the new and worrying rise in sectarian politics, represented in this House for the first time in my lifetime, and which again should worry us. We're sent here to serve the interests of our constituents, and I choose them. I choose to ensure the working people of Newark and Nottinghamshire are always represented. And they sent me here with a few clear messages. Secure our border, reduce immigration, lower our taxes, stop the crimes, build homes, build a more united country, cohesive, integrated, not riddled by the poison of left-wing identity politics. That's what I'm here to fight. Where this government does that and lives up to that test, I will support it. Where it doesn't, I'll fiercely challenge it. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.